Hi, Michelle.
Hello.
We're
Oh,
going to
yeah.
be visiting Michelle 4 times this year. This is our second time, and today we're going to talk about gardens and chickens because that's a
Yay.
good summertime topic.
Oh,
So,
yeah.
Michelle, why don't you tell us what you have in your garden, what you grow, and how you prepare, and all that?
Um, well, this year we actually scaled down our garden because we overwhelmed ourselves last year. It was way too big, and we realized that we need a life outside of weeding our garden every day.
Mhm.
So we kind of just really scaled it back this year and focused on the stuff that we will actually eat, that we actually love and enjoy. I'm a pretty fairly new gardener, so I just love all the shiny things and all the different varieties. Like you look at the seed catalogs and I want all these unusual things. And so that's what
Right.
I did the first few years. And now I'm like, okay, yeah, now I'm going back to the basics. Like it was fun, but like I just can't keep up with all that.
Yes.
So tomatoes are my big thing. I do come from an Italian family, always made homemade sauces. So that is my love is probably herbs and tomatoes are
Mhm.
my favorite things to grow.
I heard that if you plant tomatoes with basil, they do much better.
They do, and they can have a sweeter taste.
Mm.
Ugh, our cat has decided to come up and make
Mm.
all the noise. So, yeah, tomatoes are my thing. All the herbs. I love to have like a medicinal garden that I'm working on. So, we do a lot of drying our own flowers, our own leaves for tea. I've got a bunch of stevia plants this year that we've been drying to use for our own stevia. So
Mm.
that kind of stuff is really fun to me. And then I also make homemade soaps. And so I use a lot of the medicinal herbs to make like infused oils that go into the soap, like calendula, lavender, um, what else? Yarrow. We do a lot with yarrow, that kind of stuff.
Mhm.
So I would say that's the biggest things. But we do the typical watermelon, cantaloupe. We got some cucumbers in there, lettuce, radish,
But you don't do
the
beans,
standard stuff.
not beans or peas or corn
I
or
do.
anything like
Yeah, we do. We have
that.
I have a whole row that just started with sweet peas, snap peas, sugar snap peas, and then yeah, we got green beans going too.
Okay,
Yeah.
well, good. And then in the fall, you'll harvest. Well, you probably harvest the flowers and things in the summer, but then the fall you'll probably get whatever crops, and then you'll can and things like that.
Right. Yeah, it's kind of just depends. This year again didn't get to it because I was trying to start a farm stand. But usually I would get strawberries, or go to Jamesport or something and get the fruits to can. So it's kind of like a all like spring through fall thing to do.
Hmm.
But for sure in the fall, my favorite things, I don't, with my kids being older now and not home much, I've decided to scale back on the canning too. Like it's kind of sad because I'm like, oh, I wish I would have started all this when they were younger and, I
Yeah.
needed a whole bunch. But we'll do our favorites like apples and peaches. I do a lot with like a peach butter, peach jam,
Mm.
apple. Then you can do all the things with apples, applesauce,
Oh yeah, there's
apple
tons of things
butter.
with apples.
Yeah,
Yeah.
apple pie filling. So I do that kind of stuff with canning. Those are my focus, and then of course tomatoes. All the different things for tomatoes is what I will
Hmm.
can
And then, do
because
you
those are
save
always
any of the
useful.
seeds for next year then?
Yep, we do. I only buy and use heirloom type plants so that I can do that. Like, if you go to a store like Lowe's or something to pick up your vegetable plants, a lot of those you can't save seeds for. So I'd rather, make the investment with good seeds and then I can collect them every year and
Yep.
save money.
Yeah.
So,
And
yeah,
then chickens. Do you ever let your chickens roam around in your garden?
we do, but they are the cleanup crew at the end of the season.
Okay.
Because the most annoying thing in the world is when one of them gets in right about when the tomatoes are ripe and you've got like little bites, chunks out of all of your produce in the garden. And then, of course, if you let them in too early with the young seedlings and stuff, they just rip those up too with all their scratching. But
Yeah.
definitely let them in at the end for cleanup and to help just with bug control for the next year and all the larvae and eggs, all of the bugs like squash bug that I hate so much that ruins all my stuff. But that does help, at least for the next year with them
Yes.
eating all of those.
Well, and probably their manure does too.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So,
And also, nothing goes to waste at the end of the season either because of our cows. Maggie loves and adores okra. It's like her favorite snack in the
really?
world. Yep. So anytime the okra's done, like we're always pulling out the stalks and all that for her. So they
Oh,
all always hang around the garden fence waiting for us to throw, and their weeds, all our favorite weeds like lamb's quarter, plantain, all the things. So
uh-huh.
we just will collect all the weeds in a 5-gallon bucket and give it to them. They think it's like the
It's
best
like,
days of their lives every night, their evening snack with all their favorite
that's
weeds.
nice. Okay. But is it expensive to have chickens?
Um, I would not, I think out of all the animals, they're probably the most affordable. They're
Mm-hmm.
pretty easy, pretty standard. Of course, ours are pasture raised, so they are basically foraging for their own food. We do, of course, supplement at all times. They have access to their own grain, but yeah, but especially having a milk cow, I mean, they get all the leftover whey, any old milk that I couldn't get through, all of that they grow really well with. So that also helps save with cost. But um, just your normal standard family living in a city with a couple chickens, easy, easy
So how
peasy.
many chickens would you
We
recommend?
have about 60 now. I
60?
know, I know. We keep adding. We started out with 25 and everyone thought we were crazy and insane because we had no idea what we were doing. But again, that's my daughter Molly's very favorite animal in all the world. She loves them. They're all her pets. They're all
All of them?
names. She literally puts them to bed every single day.
Oh,
Every night she's out there counting them, making sure they're all in bed, tucked in nice.
oh. So you
It's
must have
so
a pretty
cute.
big coop then.
We do. We
Yeah.
do. That was one good thing on this property. My father-in-law had built it. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, we got plenty of room.
So, so for a family, let's say of 6, how many
Hmm.
chickens would you recommend? Just if they want to just
I
have
would
chickens
say
for
probably
themselves.
6. Probably a chicken per family
A
member.
chicken per
Mm.
person?
Yeah, probably. I
Okay.
mean, you're gonna get probably when they're younger, they don't lay as much as they get older, but
And do you
you
need a
probably
rooster?
get a good 5 eggs per hen per week.
Okay.
They
That's a good
don't lay
that's a good number.
whites every single day, but about 5 is standard, 5 to 7.
Okay. Um, do you recommend how many do you need a rooster?
No, no,
Not
you
really?
don't. Not at all. Unless you're wanting to breed them or, have
Yeah.
some barnyard
What
mixes.
if you
But I
end up
just,
with one when you go and you get chicks and you end up with one?
yep, that happens just every year. Well, we got lucky this year, and I don't know if people want to hear it, but we had meat birds, and so um they had one bad day. So our
You had a
roosters
bad
laid the
day.
meat birds last year
Okay.
because they're just noisy and annoying and yeah.
Okay. All right.
So um yeah, we just like to keep laying hens. That's our favorite.
They don't really need any like vet care or anything like that, do they?
No, not really.
No.
I mean, we've had several little emergencies that we've taken care of on our own, but I don't
Mhm.
think it. I mean, okay, some people will bring their chicken into a vet, but
Not very many. They don't
no,
come
it's
up with
not. It's
diseases
not
and things like
very common because you're going to spend a lot of money for like a $2 chicken.
but I guess you do
No.
have to protect them from animals though.
Yep, you do for sure. We always have hawks flying around, so when we notice them, they do have to stay locked up in our coop. Well, it not. We have a huge run for them as well,
So
but we
it's
keep
got a
them all.
top.
It's all predator. Yeah, it's got the wire all around and keeps them safe until they move on. They've
Mhm.
tried to get them a couple times, but Molly is pretty vigilant about her chickens, and if there's any threat she sees, they just stay in their run for the day.
Well, good.
Yeah,
Okay. All right. So you have like but how much room? You just let them out in the yard sometimes.
yeah, yeah. They're in the. I mean, we have a fenced off section of pasture for the
For
cows and
them,
chickens. They
or
used
like
to
if
just
there's
roam all
predators
over our
around their area.
property,
Okay.
which we have 3 acres. I would say they have at least an acre. They just run around. There's plenty of room. So
Mhm.
they just stay in the fenced in area. Now I will say there's the rogue chickens who are you'll always see probably 5 out and about. They're the independent ones. They're like our originals from 4 years ago.
Uh-huh.
Um, they just hop right over the fence. It doesn't matter to them.
Uh-huh.
So yeah,
So
you'll
then if
if you
you
see a
once a
white one out, that's Marshmallow. You'll always and she's always the last in bed. She's out in pasture all over our woods. I don't know how she's still alive, but somehow she is.
okay. Well, I think
Yeah.
that's it for now. If I have any, but you'll send me some pictures
Yeah,
of your garden
sure.
and your chickens, maybe,
Yeah, our favorite
maybe
chicken.
with Molly.
Yes, exactly.
That'd be great.
Yeah.
Well, thank you very
Okay.
much for visiting with us today.
Sure. It was fun. Thanks for having me.
Okay. See you later.
All right. See
Bye.
ya. Bye.